Is your empathy keeping you stuck? It sounds counterintuitive, but sometimes our growth can be stunted because we feel bad for the frequencies that we're trying to leave behind. If you find yourself reverting to old habits because you feel bad for others, it's time to learn the art of returning to yourself. Hey guys, my name is Sunny, and I am here with Sunny Healing Intuitions to bring you some guidance on clearing the path of all the old and stepping into this new time that we're in. This is a very huge time of aligning with our sovereignty and calling back our power to follow our true heart's desire. And so today I'm going to share some information with you about letting go of these old energies and things that can come up and ways that we can work through it as we navigate this. So today I'm going to be focusing on what I call the empathy trap. We want to navigate this in a way that we're clearing the past to step into the new. And it's not like we are starting with a blank slate because we did come into a new year, a new time. This is a complete new slate. However, we have to also remember that these things will come up. No matter how much we clear, we will get revisited with this energy because time is not linear. It's very cyclical. I hate saying that word. But everything goes in a cycle. So as we come back around to another year, you may notice every March or maybe every September, this is usually around eclipse season, that things get a little shaken up. Things start leaving your life and you have to start, maybe starting something new or looking at things with a fresh perspective. And this is what I'm trying to help the collective with right now, because this is a big time of letting go of the old energy, because we're not who we used to be anymore. We are a brand new people right now because we've gone through some serious shifts. Now, you may notice lately that people around you could be standing in the same room and living in two entirely different worlds. Or maybe you're both looking at a same situation, but seeing completely different scenarios and feeling absolutely different ways about it, right? When you raise your frequency, the old world of lack and the new world of abundance start to separate. So this is where timelines will split off, okay? This is what's happening right now. It's already happened, okay? This is why we're noticing this stuff more, and this is why I want to bring it to your awareness. So if you've been feeling a strange distance between yourself and others lately, know that you're not alone, and it is not a mistake. It is an invitation. This invitation is to start choosing what serves your highest good, and as we do that, it's going to trigger others. It really will. And you're going to start noticing a lot more reactivity, a lot more heightened emotions in others. Just be aware and observe. You do not have to absorb this energy. So the trigger in others is your growth. It's as simple as that. The light within you is shining brighter as you grow, and the more that you grow into yourself, the more the world will start to notice. Not just in your career, not just in your not just in your career and your family life, but in your presence, your energy, and your truth. You yourself become more visible. And it sounds weird, but it's very true. I've definitely noticed this. Even when I go other places I've never been, I definitely notice people notice my energy when I walk into the room. I am the one shifting the energy in the room. So whether it's a professional setting, your community, online, in family circles, or even among friends, people start to notice the changes in you. This is like when we go to the gym and we start working out. And the more that we start to get used to the routine and have to maybe amp it up a little bit or change things up, that's when people will start to notice, because they see us every day. But then once we have that big change come through, like a big breakthrough, that's when they're going to start to notice. So this leads to a common and often painful irony. As you become more aligned and at home in your own skin, the people around you become more distant, reactive, and even critical. I have definitely faced this a lot in my life. While it feels personal, this friction is usually a mechanical reaction to change in a social ecosystem. So it's like shaking the core foundation of their societal norms, right? And so this is going to cause some reaction. And relationships often operate in unspoken like contracts, right? We don't realize that we do this, but sometimes things can be conditional. Like, you know, if you try to end a relationship, somebody's like, but I've done all this for you. I've paid for things for you, you know, and even if you didn't ask for it, this is that type of energy that we're going to be seeing come up. And I've been seeing it for the last year or two, to be honest. So if a friendship was built on a shared habit of complaining, and then all of a sudden you start to like focus on solutions and gratitude more, you have unilaterally changed the terms of that contract. Others are going to feel a sense of loss or confusion. And because the old version of you, the one that they knew how to navigate, is no longer there. And so this is really going to shake them to their core. Now, I'm going to go over a few things that I notice that will be helpful to navigate through this, to understand why this happens. So we have this mirror effect, okay? When you take steps to improve your life, it shines light on the areas where others are going to be feeling stagnant or stuck, maybe even blocked or, triggered. So your discipline or newfound boundaries can inadvertently highlight their own lack of movement in their own life. And for some, it's easier to label your growth as acting differently, right? Or being selfish for choosing yourself, choosing things that align more with you rather than people pleasing. This is going to be something that they're going to do towards you rather than address their own discomfort and staying the same rather than growing along with you. So then there's also the lack of predictability on their end. Humans generally crave an equilibrium. The same thing. People have a hard time accepting change. If you were the yes person, or maybe the fixer, or seen as that, or maybe the one who always prioritized others' needs over your own, your growth, specifically your boundaries, makes you less predictable. This is the kicker here. So when you stop playing that assigned role that they have given you, which is obviously unfair, the people who benefited from that role may feel a sense of instability and push back to try and restore that old status quo. This is where we have to be strong. And I laugh because it's so fucking hard. It is so hard. I have been doing this for quite a while now. And every time it's tough. You know, nobody wants to lose people in their lives, but sometimes we have to do that for our own sense of peace, calm, sanity even, right? Keeping us sane in our own lives that we are facing. They're not living our lives. They're living theirs, and they're putting us as their main character in their story, which is not fair. And it's like us expecting people to do things for us when they never told us to. I mean, that's never good. And this is pretty much what they're doing. And then we also have the fear of being left behind. Growth often involves a shift, and the shift of energy, interests, and how you spend your time is going to change. Friends or family may interpret your expansion as kind of an exit strategy because they think that you're leaving them behind. Their trigger is often rooted in deep-seated fear that as you rise, the gap between what will... Loki says hi. The gap between you will become too wide to bridge. 1 second. Sorry about that. So this is where we are meant to set strong boundaries. As we set boundaries for ourselves, we tend to notice a bit more resistance from others. And this usually is a telling sign that these people are not here to support you. Many times I have set boundaries and got met with resistance because this signified growth within me, and now they have to work at avoiding a boundary that I have set. And then they've crossed that boundary and then attack me for standing up for myself. This has happened time and time again as I've worked on myself. And the biggest loss, I say loss because it's really a gain. We're clearing out old energy that is no longer beneficial and keeping us stuck, right? So the biggest loss was when I put down the bottle 2 years ago yesterday. I became sober, and all of a sudden, I was not the same person in other people's eyes, even though I am exactly the same person. I'm just a more healed, happier, carefree, abundant, expressive, won't bend to anyone's needs, don't people please anymore type of person. And that triggers them. That, like, even just not drinking, they were like, oh, well, I only drink, it's like, who cares? Did you see, you used to drink with me, how I used to drink. Like, I'm not judging just because I decided to better my life, and unfortunately, everyone in my life has disappeared except for the new people who have come in while I started my business and started healing and started to get to know the real me. The one that doesn't bend to other people's rules, the rebel that I've always been, but always kept myself in a box because this is where people placed me and this is where I kept myself. And it was a very triggered version of myself, the same people that I'm describing right now. So when I give this information, I'm literally giving this from experience as the person who was triggered and the person who is healed. So nowadays, I know already off the bat that if I create a boundary and they react defensively, there's no way they're going to respect my boundary, and they're not going to respect me. So then I have to create distance. This is just what I do now. This is literally how I stay in my sovereignty, to keep my power, and to know what I value, what I tolerate, what I allow in my life and what I don't, and when things are off, right? So I pretty much do this with anything that makes me feel less than or bad about my journey, myself, or takes away my joy about something that I'm excited about. That's just not fun. I don't allow anyone to do that. Yesterday, I posted about my 2-year sobriety, and this is always a telling sign too. And they said that was fast, and I was like, maybe to you, and they laughed at my reaction, and I'm like, this is a person I used to love and appreciate in my life, and now you're literally putting this nasty energy into this wonderful milestone that I am proud of. And I even told them how I got sober, which is pretty traumatic in itself. So that just, to me, is just disrespectful. And I don't care if you were joking or you're trying to make light of a situation. I don't fucking care. You can kindly fuck off. Because it's not okay. It's almost like, to me, it's like that energy of boys will be boys. And I'm not going to go into all that. But this is about us and how we feel. We are not bending to what other people think is okay anymore. So when I first created these boundaries, it was very hard. Very, very hard. The first person I had to create this boundary with was my own mother. And then after so many years of taking this shit, I finally cut her out. And it was the hardest decision I ever made in my life. Absolutely. I've had to hold empathy for myself and her. I had to grieve someone living in my life, and then I had to let it go and forgive, which is something I'll talk about next week. So it is still tough because we have that empathy trap, I fight through that, and then I grieve the relationship, and then I let it go. So see, when we decide to choose ourselves, our peace, and our joy, the energy will try to pull us back in. It's almost as if they're on the ground pulling our feet, trying to keep us like, hey, don't leave, don't leave. I need you. I need you. You need me. You know, that kind of energy. They will try to make you feel that way. It's so bad. And also, as humans, we want to fix others. We have emotions, and these emotions catch us in their net because that's just who we are sometimes, right? If we have that type of empathy, then yeah, it's gonna hold us back at times. And sometimes we won't hear our intuition because we're blinded by the energy. So the feeling that if I just show them, you know, I can be there for them, they will see that I am worthy, or they finally will see how much I love them and they will love me more. This is the exact same energy that I felt with my mom my entire life. So this is what keeps us trapped as well. Okay? This is where we start to revert back to the old loop pattern and cycles because we can't stand to see them suffer, and then in turn with that we're suffering as well. Or they keep saying they miss you, or they make you feel bad for not being around anymore, like you're being selfish and you don't care about anyone else. That's always been the big one in my life. So you'll start to see that empty space from leaving this energy behind, and you'll want to fill it with old familiar energy because that's just what you know. But this is a very common thing as we start to step into our sovereignty and take our power back. So don't be hard on yourself if you find yourself in this place, okay? Grieving old relationships and patterns, habits, they're necessary to move forward. So it's okay to feel sad, or you know, like you're grieving something. It's okay. You have to allow that process. It's so important in order to truly let go before we forgive. And again, I will talk more about that, but right now we're focusing on this. So during that grieving process, what we really need at that time is to choose ourselves. And how we choose ourselves every day to show up is by filling ourselves up with more of ourselves, more love, more self-care. This will take time. It is not an overnight thing. It probably will last for quite a while. You know, this is a very big practice that we're trying to step into as we all start to call our power back and release the old. And as you do this, you're choosing a life of fun, joy, abundance, freedom. That's my favorite. Rather than lack of love, energy, time, money, control, trying to control outcomes of situations that are out of control in our life because others are, you know, reacting with their energy. We can't control how others are going to see things. We can't control how other people perceive energy or, you know, our selfishness. So we also do hold that problem of like fear of the next challenge ahead of us. And that's something that we can also let go of as we're choosing joy and abundance and freedom. And as you fill yourself up with that love and that care and the joy, you will start to feel fulfilled again in that empty space. And you will choose what you allow in your life, what you will not tolerate anymore, who you will keep in your life. This will be easier to filter people as you start meeting new groups, because as you're choosing yourself and you're filling yourself up with this love and care and joy and freedom and abundance and all the great things, right? This is causing a pattern of positive change in your life. It's a change in a way that you will feel when things are out of balance and out of alignment, and then you are instantly put back on that right track. This is what happens as you lose the old and you gain more in the new. So by choosing the right direction is something we do with our heart space. I talk about this a lot in my videos. The heart is where we lead from. When we can filter out all of this stuff, this gunk, all the old energies that, is kind of processing through us right now. I've been facing a few things from my past. Maybe memories that I haven't seen in a while that are just reminding me of why I'm here and why I'm doing what I'm doing. So as you're choosing yourself again, you will start to explore more areas in your life that you didn't even consider before. You'll start finding books, movies, music, people, groups that you didn't even realize existed. I encourage you to consider areas of your life that you have never looked at before. Maybe sitting in a meditation with your inner child, or like a guided meditation will suit you better to find that imagination and creativity. Or you can just choose to invite more playfulness or creativity in your life. Allow yourself to explore your imagination and revisit games or activities that you did enjoy as a child. I enjoyed roller skating, which I plan on doing this week now that it's warmer and the nice weather is back. So the old loops, patterns and cycles that we're trying to clear out only have power over you if you choose to participate in it. So choose to participate in other things and leave that all behind. Before I go, first of all, I wanted to let you know I'm going to do a live tarot and tea on Sunday, and that's going to be at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I'm going to be doing different ones at different times every week. Next week we'll probably be back on Thursday, but this week will be on Sunday at 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. I put out a 3-part masterclass series that's in my community board if you want to check that out, or in my posts. That is a really awesome way to call back your sovereignty, working with somatic breath work, meditations, and journaling. And I'll be just doing more content and helping to filter out all of this gunk that we're letting go of and navigate us through all of this that we're coming into. So before I go, I wanted to recommend some practices for navigating, releasing this energy and filling the empty space. One of the things you could do is forest bathing, walking in nature, in the forest, noticing the things around you. Look at all the beauty around you, all the trees, the sounds that you hear, like the wind in the trees, or maybe there's some running water nearby. Taking in the smells. What do you smell? Is it dirt, grass, the air, the crispness and the breeze? And then there's also walking barefoot in the grass, dirt, or sand. Or you can garden by placing your hands in the dirt and interacting with nature directly. Sitting near a body of water is very helpful. I love to go to the coast. You can go by a lake, or maybe sit in the bathtub. I love taking a bath and meditating. Watching the ripples in the water is always a nice way to kind of ground and balance your energy. Listening to waves, you can also do that, sitting outside in your earbuds. Setting boundaries without argument is a huge one I wanted to go over. So if someone is giving you a hard time because you're not laughing at a joke that they find funny, or they said something that hurt your feelings, and they've done it over and over, and you're noticing this pattern of their behavior, and you want to take a step back, all you have to do is say, I see that, but I choose not to participate. Or simply saying no and leaving it at that. You don't owe people an explanation other than it just doesn't work for me. That's all you have to do. My favorite lately, well, not lately, for a while now, is delete and blocking. Going through your phone, looking at anyone who may take from you and doesn't reciprocate, drains your energy or maybe your bank account, makes snide remarks or unhelpful comments. If this is the type of energy you're seeing with people when you see their name, delete and block. You don't need that energy anymore. You don't have to feel bad either. Who cares how long you've known them? they're literally not respecting you. It's not okay. Just simply not okay. Clear out old energy or clutter around your home, your closets, your phone, your computer, deleting old pictures, getting rid of old things that you thought were mementos, and now, every time you see it, or maybe you haven't seen it in 6 months or a year, and you have no reason, or you just hold on to it for sentimental value, but it doesn't bring you any joy. Get rid of it. Who cares? Just get rid of it. Or maybe you can donate it, I was going to say something else, but repurposing that, you don't have to sell it. If it's something that drains your energy, give it away, because that money is energy too, and that currency is going to keep that flow of energy in your life. It is really hot in this room. My God. I even have the air on and my fan on. I'm sorry to people that are in the cold. All right. Another one is starting to explore places that you've never been, that you've wanted to go, and you haven't gone yet. This expands your sense of adventure to maybe go out to the country, or, go to the place that you always wanted to go to but didn't want to go alone. I love traveling alone. I actually travel alone all the time. I will not travel with others. I will meet them there, but I will not travel with others. I like to move on my own time and energy. And then the last one is taking yourself on solo dates. Who cares about being out there alone? It feels good to do things alone, and to be able to do things alone. That's powerful. That is very powerful. Checking out a new band, or taking yourself out to a movie, or checking out a new restaurant that opened is simple ways of, maybe going to the bar, and, if you drink, go and hang out, have a drink, and talk to some random stranger. Just be careful, obviously. I'm not trying to condone anything. I'm not saying any. Okay, we're just gonna stop there. Anyway, I would like you to leave in the comments one area of your life that you are currently clearing space or leaving behind. Remember that you are the main character in your story, and only you can choose where you focus your energy, because where you focus your energy where focus goes, energy flows, and that's the rule of manifestation. So next week we will talk about forgiveness. That's one that people don't like. That's one that triggers people, so that's going to be a fun one. And this is the ultimate release of old energy, and the true roadmap to mastering manifestation. So definitely tune in next week. Till next week, I'm sending love and blessings on a journey. Take care.